Welcome to the Salt Circle Podcast. My name is Hank. He's finally an adult. It's Heartburn Ben.
Oh, man. Do you know what they fucking sent me in the mail? I turned 31 recently. They fucking hit me with like free hearing exam, 50% off hearing aids. I'm like, come on. It's been like 48 hours. I already had to have Tums with my dessert and then had heartburn all night. Now I'm getting hearing aid offers. It's too much, man.
Look, you have that one birthday and then you're a skeleton now. You're a skeleton.
I'm a husk. Waiting for my knees to go out.
You're dying. You're no longer growing. You're dying.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah.
Slowly.
I feel good, though. Honestly, heartburn aside, I don't even know if it was heartburn. Because as I mentioned, my mom said someone called into work with like the same exact symptoms, which is wild. So maybe it was a virus of some sort.
Maybe you ate the same thing.
Yeah, maybe she also had chili and pork at way too late in the night. Who fucking knows, man? I feel good though, you know? Like there's a lot of people I know who are like they got back issues, they got knee issues, like shit. My sister is like I slipped a disc. My brother is like I can't extend my shoulder. I'm like I'm feeling good.
That's good.
Yeah. I'm prepared for the other shoe to drop like at a moment's notice, but we enjoy it for now. You know what else I'm feeling? You know what else I'm feeling?
When things go wrong now, they're not gonna get better very quickly.
Yeah, that's the thing, right?
Yeah.
You know what else I feel good about though?
What?
Another year in for the podcast.
We did it.
Another good one. You know, not that any of them have been bad, but like the roll continues for me.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. What would you define the last year as for the podcast?
I mean, it's finishing the DCAU was such a big project. It took us so long.
Yeah, man.
And also we did Naruto, which is hilarious.
That's very yeah. That one feels so small because I read it so fucking fast. Like Naruto it doesn't like register until I think about it. I'm like, Naruto is like really fucking long. That's just a me thing.
Yeah, but it's 6 episodes of the podcast.
Yeah.
As opposed to like, you know, I spent a lot of time reading Ranma this year. That's one episode.
Yeah. Not my fault. It took you a year to read what is, for most people, I assume, a weekend's worth of reading. I would, the other big one, and I'm glad I checked because I actually was a year off. We started Salt the Wound this year.
Yes.
And that's like, I mean, that's huge for me. That's like game changing, which is set off a ton of other things to come.
Yes.
So that's
very
like,
fun.
Oh, dude, it's such a good time. I do
look. It's the optimal way to experience fighting games, which is just to have a buddy to go through fucking all of them with.
Oh, dude.
It's honestly the optimal experience because you never stick with one game long enough to get like completely sick of it.
Oh, yeah.
Unless you're doing that on your own time.
Yeah, we're not like completely sticking to games. There's a few games that either usually it's that better. And then there's the odd game, like I got really into Gundam Wing Endless Duel, and or obviously like Street Fighter 6, right? I pump time into that, but generally we're not out here trying to like get good at the game. For me, I'm often trying to get good enough to beat you, and then fucking choking on game day.
Oh, Street Fighter 5.
Dude, I've never been so upset in my life. I have like 30 hours in that game. I was practicing. I was oh my God. I was so confident.
Same. That's about what I have.
I'm gonna fucking kill you. Oh my God. And I whooped your ass in the scrimmage. And then I told people in the fighting Discord, they're all making fun of me. They're like, "Bro, you always throw the scrimmage. Never let them act like they don't know what they're doing, so they train. Like, hey, that son of that old asshole is on the American arcade tech.
No, you were definitely more locked in the scrimmage than you were on Assault the Wound.
Apparently, yeah. I wasn't even using my stick or anything. Like, I went back to the leverless. Mm-hmm. I was biffing all of it, man. I was just absolutely biffing it. I think my reactions were there, but they were just the wrong reactions. It's like in Street Fighter 6. I react instantaneously. I have perfect reactions to Akuma's teleport. I need it to not be a parry. but I'm reacting perfectly. I like the timing is so on point.
Sure.
And then I get thrown because it's the wrong button.
Mm-hmm. I have no reaction times. I have to know what I'm doing beforehand to do it.
Yeah.
Generally.
Yeah, that's...
My mind is like... It's getting going that I always have the trouble with in competitive games.
Or tag fighters, so apparently.
Pre-fire. Yeah.
I'm glad we've been playing on stream a little bit more so people know that I'm not always fucking washed. Finally, there's proof. Oh, so Assault the Wound has been delightful. Like, just a super fun experience. And it's also, like, the benefit of it not usually taking too long. Like, it's like the perfect length.
Sure.
Because usually I don't have so much time to record.
Yeah, it's a little under an hour.
Yeah.
30 minutes to an hour usually, depending on the games. Some games go super quick, but we usually have one that's longer in there at least.
Mm-hmm.
From what we've done so far.
Yeah. And we had the Marvel Infinite Beyond. Was really got that timing down. That was nice.
Yeah, that was sick. Even though I wasn't into that game, it turned out. Yeah. I was not thrilled.
I was having the time of my life.
Hell yeah. Happy for you.
It's right there in the name, right? It's not called delicately treat the wound. Yeah, in terms of like going back to the regular podcast stuff with DCAU, that was just like such a good project. Like,
yeah,
I think like Dragon Ball felt more. Dragon Ball felt more impactful. I think there was more of like a wow factor there for me. Cause like I had like such minimal experience with it that it just like completely blindsided me, and in a way the DCAU did that too. Cause like going in, right, I was like, oh, like Batman can be good. It's not just an edgy piece of shit. I see. Yeah, this is magical.
It's you had experience, but it wasn't that positive.
Yeah, and like those shows had like been around, right? Like Dragon Ball was a thing that I wasn't really, for the most part, exposed to. Like I did stumble across it a few times, but like it was just those couple of times that I saw it airing on TV. Like I saw between all of the DC shows, like I saw those all the time, man, because it was just so much longer or whatever. So that was more of like an actively ignoring thing, I guess, and then just getting to go back and be like, with the exception of Batman Beyond, I watched that shit. It was good. But like just getting to go back and see it and being like, this was really fucking good. Like this is crazy.
Yeah. And then you watch once you watch Batman the Animated Series, and then you watch the first episode of Batman Beyond. You're like,
yeah, dude. Dude, it's so much better. Like that was the Because we almost did, like, because that was one of the things you had me check out for, like, the cartoon thing, right? Way
Yes,
back.
correct.
Like, thank God I didn't just pursue that.
Yeah, there's a world where we just watched Batman Beyond without having done Batman the Animated Series.
Yeah. Or watch it, and then I'm like, this was pretty sick. And then we go back, which would be kind of more annoying. The longer, worse route.
Sure.
But it worked
But whatever gets you,
yeah. And like the whole, I don't know, man. It was also kind of, I guess it's so hard at this point to remember how it was feeling like a year, 2 years ago or whatever. But it definitely solidified like my liking DC over Marvel. And I guess it's like also dependent because like my exposure to Marvel is still largely, when I think of it, it's just that my internal SEO is just fucking eaten by the MCU, right? Mm-hmm. But I don't know, just like kind of and like there's you could pick a fucking Marvel comic that's better than a given DC comic, right? Like it's not like they're all better, but just overall, like kind of coming into that, I don't know. It was just such a fun period of like falling in love with all these characters.
Sure. I'm still a Marvel fanboy, but yeah, I understand. Those shows are fucking excellent.
Yeah.
Although the thing I will say is we did start that thing so I could, for a basis for reading more comics, and we have not gotten back to American comics at all.
We will though. That's
sure.
we need to hold off on that shit.
Yeah.
We need that short form content.
Well, yeah, currently manga is consuming the comic book reading time.
Yeah. And I think
because you got completely manga pilled.
Well, that's because it's so
by your phone.
It's so easy to do on the phone, man. Because like it kind of
so many fewer words.
It's true, honest to fucking God. Like that's the thing, right? Like reading, I've been doing like those old Conan comics on my Surface, and that's great because that thing is fucking huge. Like it's not meant to be used like that. So it's perfect. But if I shrunk that down on my phone, that's like unreadable. The only thing I kind of regret reading on the phone was Blam, because that's just the art was so. It's like trying to take in a 2-page spread of Berserk, right? Like you're just there's no fucking way that's happening correctly.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to read Berserk on my phone.
No.
I've been you fucking got me though, because I've been picking at Inuyasha on my phone.
Yeah,
very slowly.
Well, it's because you can be
it's
anywhere.
better. It's better than reading social media on my taking a shit. So.
Well, see, and that was like that. Honest to God, like that's really what I was like. I was either playing Super Auto Pets, playing Mahjong, or just like doom scrolling or like scrolling YouTube or whatever at like any given moment. I'm like, this is. I could just be reading shit that we'll be talking about on the podcast anyway, or that I know is good. Like I could just be multitasking here, and instead I'm like getting mad at Super Auto Pets. I could be having fun while I'm pooping.
True.
And phones are big enough these days, you know.
That was the thing that happened. Was I got a new phone.
Hell yeah,
it has a better screen, so it became palatable enough.
Oh yeah. But there's so much
and also it's just Inuyasha. It's not fucking Shakespeare.
Yeah, that's yeah. No,
it's not.
I got you.
Like her art style at that point is simple, is more simplified. And
yeah,
it's not Ranma. It's not hitting the Ranma highs of art where I need to like screenshot every page.
Dude, I really do think
part of why that took a year to read.
I really do think that is her peak for art. Maybe not. I mean, I guess it depends on what you're into, but I think for like the gag stuff and just like fun panels, like it's so peak. Cause it's literally just like every fucking panel is gold. Every panel.
I just think the floor is the highest.
Sure, yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Because a great Lum panel is still probably top tier.
Yeah, that's fair.
Is the thing. Like Ursa Yatsura probably still has more peaks. It's more, but it's spikier, I'd say.
Yes. Yeah.
Can't deny the power of a good Lum panel, though. Come on.
You got me thinking about the dark ages of the original Ursa Yatsura anime, where for some fucking reason they were all in on like the most flat, shitty faces of all time. Like 10 just looks like a little goblin. It's just awful. Like, it's just such a weird art choice, but they did it.
Well, it was cheap. Probably.
Yeah, apparently.
I just always think there's like this one, I don't remember what story it's in, but just like there's a bunch of monsters or aliens or whatever, and one of them's just like, I just want to see Lum. I just want to see. It's like that, your buddy, you're everyone.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what everyone's saying all the time.
That's probably the. That sounds like it'd be when she was like supposed to. She was having like a betrothal party or whatever the hell, in space or something. I don't know, but yeah, they're just like they said the thing. And meanwhile, the anime went. What if we had an episode without Lum? And it was a choice.
Yeah, that was the thing I did this year. Was I finished my? We did our Urusei anime podcast with the movies and the OVAs. I finished that this year for sure.
At first,
you finished the anime this year too, I think.
It has to have been.
Yeah. I think I was waiting on you to finish the movies and stuff.
Yeah, that sounds right. No, it has to be this year, or 2024. For a second there, when you started in on that, I thought you were going to say that you finished your watch through of the anime. I was about to lose my fucking mind. Like, this whole time in the back, you've been going through it for no reason.
No. I just watched the filler episodes. Occasional ones that, like, next time on was too powerful for me to ignore.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, that was when you were watching through it. Half of it was like, well, they got me. I watched the thing that sucked, and then they fucking got me.
This next episode had fucking Ten's mom in it. Like, I gotta watch that.
Yeah, dude.
She's so good. Gotta fucking punish all those pyromaniacs.
10 fucking sweating is like just so good. Oh, what a good series. Rumiko Takahashi, just good at shit, man.
Yeah, I feel like that project of doing all her stuff is like outsized in terms of like us thinking and talking about outside the podcast compared to the number of episodes we've produced on it. But
yeah,
it's just the way it is.
I would agree, because it comes up constantly.
Yeah. You're just thinking about it all the time. It's taken a lot of time to go through it for me. But
it's just like, there's the Ranma animes coming out, right? And like I've been going this
came out. It had a first season, and now we're waiting for more.
Yeah. In the background, I've been watching through my Sanakoku. So like, this shit is just constantly in my head.
Mm-hmm.
And then like I stumble across old screenshots, or you go through shit, and then you're sending me shit, and then it's like great, because I get the feed of top tier panels.
I sent you so many Ranma panels.
Bro, there was the one time I counted. It was like you sent me like 17 at once. And I was like,
Yeah. Because I think that was like when I stopped sending them as I was taking them. Because it's like, I'm never
it was
going to get
taking
through
too
this.
long. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was like, I stockpiled them and then just dumped them all one after another. It's like a million messages.
My phone was just going fucking sicko mode. And then every single one of them is like absolutely incredible.
Yeah. I was posting them reposting them on Bluesky, but I have not posted all of them. Because I was doing it when I was thinking about it, and when I was thinking about it was now reading Inuyasha time.
Hell yeah!
So
I tried going through briefly, and I was gonna get like a bunch of gifts from my Sonic Koku, and then even maybe Urusei Yatsura, because like there's so many good moments.
True.
I did some, and I was pretty happy with them because some of them are like just like the like outdoor scenic shots, and those are great.
Sure.
But I realized that these series are like fucking insanely popular, and I'm just retreading ground that every other person in my shoes is tread. So I just did.
Sure.
I stopped bothering. Because like you can find so many.
Yeah.
Like there's that one.
What I usually do
dedicated.
is I look to see if I can find the one I want,
Yeah.
and then if I can't, then I'll make one.
What I do still kind of want to do.
But that was more for the new Urusei Yatsura anime that I was doing that.
Oh yeah.
That has less history of people doing that. There's still plenty of people doing it.
I'll say there's still a good mix. Like if I look just on Tenor when I'm looking for gifts to post on Discord or whatever, just as a reaction, there's a good amount of old Urusei Yatsura stuff, but like there's a shitload of the new stuff.
Yeah,
That really,
the new show's just very pretty.
yeah. There's that palette.
It's a testament to like how good the new one is that it can penetrate that, because that like if the old anime is such an like an entrenched fandom, I feel like.
Yeah. I think the honestly one, because I was still on Reddit at the time, I'm pretty sure. If I wasn't, I was like just checking, as I still do now and again. Fairly positive reception to the new anime, which I found a little bit surprising. But I think most people in that particular subreddit happened to be reasonable, it seemed. And all of them were like, this is just like a different thing. Like the other anime still fucking exists. It's not like we were going to get more of that because it's old as shit at this point. Like that's not how it works. So
Also, the like last OVA they made that was like new old Urusei Yatsura, where it was like Digipaint, is terrible. Like it's just not actually good.
that was the one, because I remember watching it and I was like, this has me worried for what the new anime is. And then it's not that, thankfully.
Yeah, no. Like if they had made that as a whole show, it just wouldn't be good. Or as good at least. It wouldn't have hit. The thing to me with the new anime, whatever, we still have to do an episode on it.
I know, yeah.
It's just,
whatever.
If you're in your heart you're a manga fan, there's like a lot of room to like the new anime a lot more. If your heart is with the old anime, I could see the new anime not being your thing.
Yeah.
Because they're just that anime is kind of a different thing. But I do think, like for me, the manga hits really hard, so the new anime hits really hard for me as a adaptation of that, I would say. And I just like pretty modern anime when they do it correctly, and actually animate things and don't use CG bottles or whatever.
Yeah.
And use good colors. Like I'm pretty about it. So, but it has to also feel like an old thing. or I don't care.
Yeah.
Apparently, in many cases, I don't know. I'm so fucking picky.
I actually, this is unrelated to Urusei Yatsura. Do we also? Because I was just looking at the YouTube channel. Is the YouTube channel is also like new to 2024, right? That's when we started it. I think it must be because everything says it was uploaded a year ago. If it wasn't 2024, it was like really close.
Lifetime.
I suppose I could just see like when the channel began existing.
December 2023.
Okay. Fucking whatever.
Yeah, there are 148 uploads on December 7th, 2023.
Yeah.
Technically, I made the channel in 2017, though.
I was gonna say
it had nothing on it.
That's so funny.
Because in my head I was like, well, one day I'll go and I'll turn these podcasts into videos, and I did that I think for episode 1, and then never again. And then finally they did RSS importing. I'm like, fucking finally, problem solved. I have to do nothing.
Oh man, that's so holy shit. Well,
It
now
just
I
took
gotta...
them 6 years to fucking for YouTube to get RSS importing. Finally.
Unfucking believable. You were on that shit, man. I'm looking. I said, when are we doing a podcast on September 22nd, 2017? September 3rd, there's a YouTube channel. And we didn't touch it for that. That's so. I didn't know it was that close. I didn't know it was like immediately. Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah, I must have set it up when I set up all the accounts.
Yeah, just to get it. Well, and thank God, or that other person would have gotten it. That's very funny. I'm just looking at like what else we have. What else we've done? Oh, I guess that's a kind of big thing. We didn't start it this year. Let me look at when it was. We didn't start it this year, but 2024 is when Sailor Moon died for me. And then potentially resurrected. Because also in the background, I've been watching anime differently instead of watching a couple episodes here and there, like one a day or whenever I feel like it, instead of trying to force myself to do like 4 episodes back to back. And at least with Sailor Moon, I think it's like, because doing that with Dragon Ball was easy, right? Like when you're fully up on a thing and it's pushing forward all the time, or at least feels like it is, that's so easy to do. When it's enemy of the week and many of those enemies don't matter, and then it's like the same shit every time, that's a lot harder to do for me. As someone who's not I don't have the.
But it was like the plot stuff.
It was also the
when it really started to that you really didn't like. So
I think I was just oversaturated. Everything was spilling out, man.
Okay.
My Sailor Moon cup was full, and then I tried to put more plot in it.
Well, what killed it was I just really wanted to get to the Sailor Moon Arm movie because I love that movie, and that didn't hit for you either, really. So at that point, I was like, whatever.
I'll give it another shot someday. I'll watch it again when I'm not. I mean, maybe I'll watch it again before getting back when I'm not in like such a fucking oversaturated vibe. Because like now that it's been a while removed, I'm like, I like the vibes. I like that shit.
Yeah.
And
as far as like dramatic Sailor Moon, the end of that movie hits me the hardest of any of the stuff so far.
Yeah. I mean, maybe I'll still think it's ass. Who knows?
Yeah.
I don't think I think honestly, even now sitting here, I think with some time between that, it's kind of like Mulholland Drive. I'm a lot softer on that movie now than I was right after the fact.
Sure.
And even while I was watching it, like I was super fucking, I was like actively mad. Sailor Moon R movie kind of, I didn't get to like that point, but definitely the same thing of like time has passed. I'm like, perhaps I was too harsh.
Sure.
But yeah. It's a good
one of the episodes of our podcast on YouTube that keeps getting view hits is the part 4 of Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon, which when Grendel's mom shows up.
Oh god, hell yeah!
Peak podcasting moment for us for our show, I would say.
That was so fucking.
As much as the end of that show is kind of miserable, podcast content, beautiful.
That was the fact that we both came to Grendel's mom was absolutely fucking incredible. What a path to take, right? You do Beowulf so that eventually you can do Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon and get the reference.
You have to do the Beowulf movies.
Yeah, you have to go all in on Beowulf. God, I'm Beowulf. That shit is so funny. Then anytime like they can't just do fucking Beowulf, they gotta iterate on it. My favorite part of Beowulf is when he was like dual wielding crossbows
and doing backflips.
Yeah, my favorite part of Beowulf was when everybody fucked Grendel's mom. People are obsessed with Grendel's mom getting pounded, dude. It's crazy.
By Hrothgar specifically.
Yeah.
If possible.
Yeah. And or by Beowulf.
Yeah.
He's optional. You know, it was right there in the Old English manuscript that Beowulf loves his sloppy seconds. The fucking the Roger Ebert review, Beowulf 2007, is just so funny because he's all in on Angelina Jolie. It's just like, yeah,
the man could be horny sometimes.
Look, he knows. Why fucking hide it? We all know why they put that in the movie.
I mean, honestly, the reason his reviews are so good is he just gets fucking caught up on some weird fucking detail, like thing he thought about, and that's like his review is like 3 paragraphs summarizing the movie and then 1 paragraph that's just about his weird fixation. It's beautiful.
Yeah, man.
It's everything criticism should be. When he's just talking about the 90s Gamera movie about thinking about how Gamera flies by farting. Criticism.
Hell yeah. I mean, when you got something to like constantly come back, I just like it's I mean, for me, it would be I would write like a little tiny bit about Christmas in Connecticut, and then I would write like a fucking essay about Felix. Because holy shit, you know what lives in my head rent free? Like I think about probably once a day, every other day maybe. Fucking, you have to you'll give the bride away. I don't give nobody away. I keep my mouth shut. Like it's incredible, dude. It's incredible. That's like up there. It's either I fucking just love that quick wordplay where like we don't hang on it. It's up there with in Blazing Saddles when like they said you was hung and they was right and they just move on and it's just fucking perfect. I love that. And Felix is just like fucking great. But like yeah, that's how I would that's how I would write about that movie.
It's very funny you don't remember him in Casablanca.
I think it's
great there too.
I think I would have to listen. Did you check the episode? Did I mention him at all? I feel like I might have, because there it's
Well,
just
no,
more,
I just mean that when I like told you that he was from Casablanca, you were like, I don't remember.
that's just it's probably just a time
It's
thing.
Goldfish. Yeah.
Like, yeah, man, I'm 31.
Mm-hmm.
I'm cooked. You should be thankful I remember the name of the movie. You should be thankful
What
I
are we doing
remember
here?
Humphrey Bogart.
Yeah, fair. Sure.
What?
Nothing.
That's
fine.
This guy. What, did I pronounce it wrong?
No,
Okay. Okay.
you're good.
Keeping my eye on you.
Another thing that
Yeah.
was this year was Delicious in Dungeon.
Yeah. Sure was. That was such a... I mean, that was like the dawn of my manga arc.
Man. Turns out new things can be good too.
Yeah. That was like...
Thank God it was over. Thank God
Oh
the
my
manga
God.
was completed.
The fact that was like such a...
Perfect.
That was
They
like
timed that
such
out
a-
perfectly. Put the anime out once the manga's done. Yes, good. Correct.
That was such
Nailed
a
it.
big thing, because that's when I was going through. I'd come off of like, I think that's when I had caught up on Made in Abyss and Furin, and those aren't done. And I wanted to like read some stuff. I wasn't out of my reading mood, or even watch something maybe. And I was like, what do people like? What shit's popular that's also like wrapped up or was really short or something? And that's when I was like, oh my God, all these anime that people love are all fucking garbage compared to the manga, which is good. And then I got to Delicious in Dungeon. It was just fantastic. And then it turns out the anime is just as good. I'm like, this is also, it's finished. Like you said, it's finished, the manga. So
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah, and the anime is just like, it's such a, at least for its first season. Hopefully season 2 is it's like a straight adaptation. Like they're not skipping stuff. They're like doing it at like a mediated pace of like 2 chapters an episode or whatever. So like you could time where the season was going to end if you were paying attention. Like it's just fucking great.
Yeah.
So I didn't feel bad just reading the manga because I'm like, oh, but this is like the same thing. I'm just getting the preview.
see, and that's, it's funny because I felt the same way. I'm like, I don't feel bad not watching the anime because like it looks like they just did a really good job and I don't really need to tread new ground.
Yeah.
Except for like parts that I wanted to just, fights and shit that I wanted to see. The water,
Yeah.
the water creature thing in particular was like a really good one.
Yeah, they did the embellishing in the places you want it, which is action.
Yeah.
Yeah. What a good thing.
I also, that one was also very funny because not long after we did our episode on it, someone in a server literally without knowing, like quoted some of the shit at the end about like being healthy and stuff. And I'm like, did you watch this? He's like, no, but that's fucking great. I'm going to read it now.
Just read, you gotta fucking, eat your 3 square meals a day and get plenty of rest.
Yeah, dude. Like moderate exercise, like a few times a week. Like it's just so good.
Yeah. And the thing from the anime that, the moment that hits me is when fucking Dragon Phelan fucking lands on that dude and like
Hell yeah.
comes down and like the way they animate her and her like boob bounce is just like imprinted in my mind. It's very funny.
Oh my god. So fucking good.
Yeah.
Can we actually make a note for like 40 minutes and then I just really gotta use the bathroom.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie. I wanted to see if it really was the chili that gave me heartburn, and I ate a much smaller amount at a slower pace. I don't think it gave me heartburn, but it gave me something else. So I'll be back in a bit, but we can just keep recording.
Yeah, I'll leave, Vernon.
All right. I return. No more
Welcome
chili. It's blacklisted. I had my hypothesis. I tested it. The results came back. We're done. I'll have my peer-reviewed report written up by tomorrow.
It was an unexpected third outcome.
Yeah.
Inconclusive, but not encouraging.
Non-zero chance that shit happens again, by the way, but probably not for the remainder of this podcast. Unless we really talk a long time.
Sure.
Look, I know my tummy. Also,
maybe
this
the next
is
podcast.
this is far preferable. Okay?
Yeah,
this
sure.
is like I'm no stranger to having my ass explode. You know?
I gotcha. Anyway, I don't remember what we were talking about.
We're talking
Where
about
we were.
Delicious in Dungeon.
Right.
And we were on that path, which is very funny because if you set down like a bowl of monster chili in front of me, I'm probably doing it, man. Like, I'll try stuff once. That's what was so great about I can't even remember the protagonist's name, but he's like so fucking ready to eat everything.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone else is like horrified. I'm like, this dude is me.
Hell yeah. It's so funny that I love that shit so much because I'm such a picky eater.
Dude, I think isn't the mangaka also?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure there was like some quote, like she's like, I don't like adventurous foods or whatever. Like she also does it. It's so good. I'm pretty sure it's she. If I recall correctly, it's she. Yeah, that's
Ryoko Kui.
it's a good time.
Yeah, like this, like I couldn't tell my mom about this thing because if I told her about a series that I liked where everyone was eating everything, it would drive her insane. Like, it would lose her mind.
Just because like you're a picky eater.
Because I'm such a picky eater. And it kind of drives her crazy.
Yeah, that sounds like mom stuff. There's a difference though. You're not eating it. You're enjoying other people eating it.
It's true.
Or the fact that like, I mean, it also kind of goes hand in hand with like, I mean, especially for this anime, it's not even like related. It's just also in the series. Like they're just fucking hungry all the time, man. That's why they need to turn to monsters and to save money.
Mm-hmm. True.
I still can't believe how well they wove together the gimmick and like the big plot. I still can't get over. It's so well done.
Fucking perfect.
And that's a lot of people miss.
The part where it like the evil makes everyone's desires into the same dumb idea on a meta level for how many for like considering we did Ava this year, for how many things become the same, so many like anime and stuff and other series just become the same plot. That hit for me so fucking hard. I love that so much. But then it does that and then still has its appropriate ending for its material. on top of that, like
Yeah,
it's just
dude.
it's home run.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, that's what like I finished it. There's so many. If you look on YouTube, and even if you're not looking, if you're like me and you get algorithmed, there's so many videos and so many posts and so many people talking about how Furin is like, oh, it's like so quiet and like, you know, they're on an adventure and it's like this beautiful thing. I'm like, yeah, that fucking stops after a while. They throw it away. It goes to trash, in my opinion. What if you follow? What if you followed that up with political intrigue? Awful.
You need some background noise on your mic. I don't know what it is.
Oh, I know what it is. Yeah, I can even see it on Audacity. My vent just turned on,
Gotcha.
which means my room is probably like 60 degrees right now. It's frigid up in here. I can fix that in post.
I can hear it on Discord. It's fucking loud.
I don't see my circle glowing on Discord.
Well, it's when you're talking.
Oh.
Hear it.
Yeah. Is it like too distracting? I can
Kind of. It's like really annoying.
okay. Can see about interesting. It doesn't show up. Maybe I could just close it. Is that better?
Yes.
Could you okay.
Thank you.
He's freezing me out.
Yeah.
No, I completely forgot. I honestly would have been more attuned to it, but the headphones I have like a fucking seal.
Gotcha.
I'm trying to think what else.
Speaking of
go on.
endings, like we finally covered recently, so that should go up like right before. No, that just went out. That's why it's on my brain, because we just posted as when we're recording this to give people a hint of how fucking far ahead we are. The Evangelion episode.
Yeah.
So we finally, now that loop is closed. So when I reference things being like Evangelion's ending, the Human Instrumentality Project, you know what I'm talking about. I don't just punch it back to Witch from Mercury or whatever.
Yeah.
Or Naruto.
Yeah, dude. That was such a funny one, too.
Mm-hmm.
I listened to a little bit of the episode, just cause, and it it literally it's been how many years that, you know, like I didn't super want to do it, like not that I didn't want to, but like it just wasn't a priority, and like we'll do it someday, and then you like said it 3 times in a row or whatever, and it happened to hit at the right time, and I watched the whole thing.
It's a rule of threes. If I say a thing enough times, well,
People are
it's not always 3 times, because I said I seeded Naruto so many times, where I just said Naruto and then did not follow up.
that one. Yeah, I needed the music.
Because we got the fact that we got a comment on the fucking the Berserk episode, because I said a Naruto thing, and they were like, "What are you talking about?" And I'm like, "Oh, I was seeing it even then."
Yeah, you've been yapping about Naruto for such a long time.
It's in my head. It lives in my head.
Ugh,
For like as
disgusting.
mid as it is.
It's gonna honestly the reason it's gonna live in my head is because I said it so many times in those episodes. Like it fucking explains so many things about so many people. Like, oh my god. Like, oh, that kid that was obsessed with Sasuke. Like, oh, I get it. I still also me drawing on my arm is now like ruined forever. This like completely innocent thing that I did while I was bored as like a 12-year-old is now fucking ruined.
That's another all-time podcast moment.
I just, I'm just like, what are the odds? Why? I could have drawn so much shit on my arm, and I had to do like the exact fucking curse pattern. Just ridiculous. And I thought it looked cool.
Hell yeah.
That was what I hate.
What if you had seen that when you thought that looked cool?
Dude, I don't know.
You just,
I have
what
no
direction your life had gone.
I have no idea. Or like, if I got that issue of Shonen Jump that I got, if that had like the curse mark in it, like if I would have seen it, because part of the thing that was like before I became like an inverse edgelord. And I say that because like I was hating on anime, but in like a kind of edgy way. That was before that, because like I and manga by extension. I read, like, I was really into that little Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, I had 1 volume of it or whatever, 2 volumes. I reread that so many fucking times. I loved it. I think I probably would have been into Naruto, man.
Your vent is being loud again. It's the,
I can't tell if it's actually open again. I think it's still closed. I think it's just being loud as hell. What if I... How about now? Is it as bad? Is it better?
I think
it should be a little better. All right.
Yeah. Okay.
Let me... Do you know what the secret tech was?
What?
I just moved the mic over like a foot. Because it's still closed. I have to... Gotta scooch.
No, I can still hear it.
Oh, you know what? What if we do one of those? How about now? Is that any better?
No.
No.
Vent is so loud.
It's an old house, man.
Yeah. That was when I was testing mic stuff at my parents' place. And, like, accidentally positioned myself near a vent multiple times. It's like, oh, there's a vent there. That's a nightmare for audio. Okay, not here. This corner is bad.
That's so weird that it's coming through. I mean, maybe it'll show on Audacity, too. The only thing I can think of is, like, stuffing a pillow over it.
You need, like, a large object to just block the mic so the wind's not, like, hitting it directly or whatever.
Well, the wind shouldn't be. It's on the floor, like, on the other side of the desk. I wonder if I can, Is it still as bad? If I'm talking, is it still as bad?
I could still hear it, yeah.
I don't really have any immediate solutions, unfortunately.
Okay. Man, that's weird. However, I can ignore it if you can, since it's a static thing, you can probably edit out in post.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that'll come out fine.
Okay. I'll just ignore it.
I'm sorry. I could adjust after this episode.
What else we got? What's next?
I was gonna say kind of one of the things that we kind of waned on this year that I wouldn't mind getting back to doing more of, but on probably an adjusted schedule, is the movie nights.
Yeah, we haven't done basically since Dragon Ball happened, I think.
That sounds right.
We've been off movies.
Just been
for like
pounding other shit.
A long time.
I think that'll be a good thing, like, going forward, though. Because they're not as time heavy. Even if it's 4 might be too many, though.
Yeah.
3 maybe. Certainly 2. But like that's a as a thing where like it's a fixed thing, and then like depending on the movies, like maybe Anya watches,
Yeah,
that's always nice. Speaking
Maybe we
of
do shorter individual movie podcasts,
that too,
we're doing just shorter recordings in general.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Just more of a thing.
Yeah. Speaking of Anya, that was the funniest thing. Learning that she had already watched Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Batman the Animated Series, Superman the Animated Series, and Evangelion in their entirety. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me right now?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, Evangelion just follows it so naturally off of TMNT, so that makes sense.
It's just so, and she also had watched like some Power Rangers or something.
Yeah, that's in that same wheelhouse era. My childhood.
Her Power Rangers thing was like the reason why it sticks in her head at all, because she was never super into it, right? She's just watching whatever's in front of her.
Yeah,
but she remembers Power Rangers pretty well. Not because she watched a ton of it, but because there was a girl at school who was clearly super fucking into Power Rangers, but also was like, it's so stupid. Like, she was trying to play it off.
Hell yeah.
This is very funny.
That was the thing I remember at this time. Like, I don't know what it was, like 10 or whatever, but it was like not, Power Rangers was not cool. I did not talk about liking Power Rangers at school.
Yeah.
I just watched it every day, but I would never talk about it.
Yeah,
that would be social suicide. That's crazy. You can't do that. You can't talk. You can't admit to liking Power Rangers. I don't know. I don't really know why that's considered like it's dudes punching people. I don't know why that's considered lamer than whatever else you could be watching.
It has to be because of like the presentation, right? Like. Especially, I think, between like around 10 to like 13, 14, maybe. Like, that's like prime. I mean, that's why like edgy shit takes off, right?
The like goofball.
Yeah, it's too goofy. It's not serious. They're hitting people, but it's too silly, Hank. And then you have to like, even if you like it, like you recognize that it's silly, and it takes a while, I think. For people, I mean, for me, even to be like, "Yo, this is silly as shit. This is great."
Mm-hmm.
Or like because I was one of those kids in, I think even like mid high school, like when I was 15, 16, maybe even like 17, whatever. Shit, maybe even 18. Those ages blend together for me at this point. I was definitely like, no, it needs realistic graphics if it's a good game.
Mm-hmm.
Like that. The game needs to be, I need my 4K photorealism, man. And if you're not striving for that, you're garbage. And I think that goes, that's kind of similar mindset.
You talk about how good Beast Wars is. That's fine. Transformers.
I'm trying to think
that has an episode where the character eats potatoes and farts. Serious shit.
Yeah. I'm trying to think like what I remember like everybody being into. Like Beyblade, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon. Beyblade, the the acceptable ways for the 8-year-olds to have fucking cockfights on the playground. there was a kid who would always bring like one of the little Beyblade arenas. Like it was a whole fucking thing, man. It was so
that's all
funny.
after. That's all. I'm
Yeah,
too old for that shit.
Yeah, you're ancient.
Yeah, Beyblades is post my time,
I didn't know that shit has metas.
or like, yeah. Metas.
Yeah, YouTube recommended me a thing on like the Beyblade, like whatever thing that like broke the meta, and I'm like, is this not just fucking like gambling light? Like you're putting the parts together and hoping that it doesn't fuck up first, and apparently
sure
that's
they're
not
like-
the case.
Is it like based on weight?
Yeah, it's like weight and then like something else, how it spins in like one of the shape of whatever thing or something. There
Yeah,
is
that makes
apparently
sense.
some form of like thing, and like there is a bit of rock paper scissors to it. The thing I couldn't, I showed this video to people and I was kind of laughing about it. Mostly, I understand that everything like has people who are passionate about it, and there's like even a meta in this, right? There are things you can do to give yourself an advantage. But the guy kept saying like attack stat, defense stat. And I'm like, is it really? You're just adding. Can we use like weight or something? Like it sounded so funny that he's like talking about this like a stat, and I'm like, my guy, they're tops. Like you could,
Hell yeah.
we could use real terms that a layman like myself would appreciate more. But then I got a lecture. Someone in the chat happened to be like balls deep in the
no.
Beyblade stuff, so they were like, they wrote like an essay, and I'm like, that like, it was interesting, but I'm like, I'm sorry, this is silly as shit.
Yeah. When I think of that stuff, though, I think of the game "The World Ends with You,"
Oh yeah,
because it has like a post game thing where it's like has an extra day where you travel to an alternate world where just everybody cares about like the fucking Beyblade style like mini game of that game. So you have to like
Hell
verse
yeah.
every character in that. It's like a bonus thing. It's like it's so good. It's so funny and perfect.
that's incredible.
It's like, what if this is what everyone cared about instead of like having fights?
Oh man. That's pretty good.
I love that game. What else we got from this year?
We got Fight Girl.
Invincible
That was a thing.
Fight Girl. New shows can be great.
Yeah, dude.
I can love new things. It's possible. They just have to put Dragon Ball sound effects in it. And I'm in.
They just have to lead with that shit.
Yeah.
They have to
They
have
just
a
have to be-
Broly episode.
I mean, frankly, they just have to be fucking perfect. If you make a new thing that's perfect, I'll love it. Easy.
Just don't fuck up. It's so simple.
Yeah, just don't be mid. You know?
That's so funny. There is kind, you know what?
I want remakes of things that are like all-time classics or new things that are fucking perfect.
Yeah, there you go.
How is that so hard?
It's very that's a pretty good juxtaposition, I feel, to we finally did my cartoon list, which it's like it had been on the list for so fucking long, and then it was just like kind of a very anticlimactic. And also I fucked up on one part of it because I hadn't watched this stuff in so long.
That's funny. Yeah.
Like,
That's just like going back to an idea that's just been sitting there. And I felt like I just needed to do one of your ideas, one of your things you brought to the table, because you were reading Naruto. I'm like, I have to do fucking something.
yeah.
Carved
Gotta
scales
throw
are
this guy.
just way too far the other direction. Like,
It's
God.
fine. I went and burned through all of Rumiko Takahashi's stuff.
Yeah.
Honestly, the thing is, the things were just like, I should have put one more episode into Owl House, and I should have maybe done more. I forgot that Infinity Train is like 10-minute episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Could have done, more of those just by the short time. But it's like, what the fuck
Probably.
ever. I'm just happy to have it done.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I should have left the thing on the episode of the show on there that I ended up fucking hating because it's the most disgusting piece of kids media I've ever seen in my life.
Wow. That would have been something to talk about.
I mean, if you ever want to watch 12 Forever, the episode where the entire world is created out of like scabs and boogers or whatever, and I was just like, this is my personal hell. This show is made to make me suffer. They reeled me in, and then they made me suffer.
That just doesn't sound that interesting to me. Frankly.
I mean, that was like the premise of the show or like that episode.
That world made of scabs and boogers. I'm just like, okay, but why?
I mean, the why was because
like,
she was going through like emotional trauma or whatever.
Sure.
And like regressing or something. I don't fucking know.
Look, I saw like Scavenger's Reign. If you just want to make a gross world that's fucking weird, it can be good.
Oh, yeah, dude. Scavenger's Reign. Did we do Scavenger's Reign this year?
No, that was very end of previous year.
That shit's so good.
Like that episode came out last year, but
good enough. Good enough.
It was part of the like doing an episode on a thing, so we didn't have to talk about it on the year-end wrap-up kind of thing, right?
Sure.
Like we offloaded it into an episode that came out with that stuff.
And it was, that shit was great.
Yeah, I hope they're making more, right?
I think so. I think they wanted to, if I remember correctly, they wanted to make more, but they weren't like super hell-bent on it, because my understanding was that they were pretty happy with what they had. But maybe I'm completely misremembering.
Yeah, it wasn't definitely going to get a season 2 when it came out. Like that wasn't guaranteed. As I recall. Not getting renewed for season 2 at Netflix, I guess. I don't know. I think they're probably like shopping it around currently to see if someone else will make it.
They said there's more story to be told. We're ready to make another season, and we produced in-house at Green Street a teaser for what was going to come in the second season. So there's a concept teaser.
Right. I think.
Did I see this?
Yeah. That was it. There was a concept teaser that I watched. I think I watched that. But they just fucking made that on their own. They didn't actually have a pickup.
Hell yeah. Oh, dude.
Hopefully that gets made someday.
I'm gonna watch this later. I got it locked and loaded.
Yeah.
Cause that's just like that's my thing. We've talked a little bit about it over the years. Like, animated media can be fucking weird. It's allowed. Mm-hmm. You don't have to like adhere to reality.
True.
Like they just did shit, man, and it was great.
Yeah.
It can have style. Imagine that too.
What? No. Can't have
sometimes
style.
Sometimes stuff has too much style. I'm looking at you, Dan or whatever. It's oversaturated, dude. They do way too many. Every single shot is like an anime TM expression. Like it's literally just everybody's either yelling or their eyes are popping out of their skull. Like there's no downtime, which is, I found it absolutely grating. Which sucks because the fight animation is fucking great. It's so fucking cool. But then like the in-between stuff, I'm like, this is awful. For me personally, I think objectively, it's good. It's well done animation, but it's just so not me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like straight out of the manga and shit. They did the same thing.
Uh-huh. And you said I remember you being like more interested in checking out the anime then and you weren't feeling the manga when you looked into it or something. Is that the one?
Yeah. I read the manga and I'm like, I mean, my thoughts were the expression, like the over exaggerated stuff constantly. And then it was like, it's one of those things where like, it's like a little too horny. And
Sure.
it's probably not if you go by other things that I enjoy in anime and manga. But like this particular brand of horny just didn't vibe with me. But then the anime it looks so fucking good. And it just like I saw some clips of fights and I'm like, this is actually sick. Like I think I need to check this out again and just watch it. And I mean if I ever go in full, I'm just gonna look up on YouTube like a best fights Dan to Dan or whatever and watch it a slide or a compilation.
Yeah, I should look into that, but I got so much other stuff I want to do.
Yeah.
Currently. Because there are times when, like, I don't know, I'm just like, I'm in this mode where I've, like, broken through. I just want to, there's so much classic stuff that I just want to get to that I haven't seen.
Yeah.
And there were times when I felt where you're like other points in my life where it's like, classic stuff was not. I want the new thing. Where's the new good thing? What's the new good thing? And then right now I'm just like, there's so much good old stuff. Fucking, that's a better. I'm gonna have a much higher hit rate looking up old stuff that's good rather than sifting through all the new junk.
Garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. There's like some older stuff that I mean, I've been on my older. I'm so fucking 80s, 90s pilled for manga and anime right now. Just living it, and it's great. But also the old thing that I kind of wanted to do more of, even just on my own, if not for the podcast, is like I really want to check out more of Kurosawa's films.
Sure,
because
they're good.
Obvious. Yeah. What if I looked at more of the things made by one of the most renowned filmmakers of all time? That seems like I could get some winners.
They're good. He has movies that aren't about samurais.
What? I do find it very funny that Anya's grandma knew of him. She's like, "Oh, Kurosawa, I like whatever film." I'm like, "Oh my god, you watch like that's so cool." He did one film where he collaborated with like some Russian director.
Yeah.
And so she knew that one.
Hell yeah.
It was I just didn't know. That's how I found out. That was a very funny thing.
That is funny.
But Christmas in Connecticut just got me. I'm like, I keep having my biases against like old films, and then it's like actually they could just be like a good film. They're not stuffy. Some of them are, but stuffy films are still being made today. That's just the medium sometimes. Like, it's just it's lodged in my head, dude, because it's been like so long that I had that mindset.
No, there are plenty of great old movies, and the thing is, you can just watch the good ones.
Yeah, that's imagine.
Yeah. Like there are plenty of bad old movies too, but those are going to come up less often over time. It turns out.
I mean, it's like with
whereas like when you're sifting through the stuff that's new, it's like you're getting hit with everything, the good and the bad.
Yeah. Well, that's like people. That was one of the funniest takes. Even when I was younger, because my family is pretty musical, so music stuff. I always feel I've been a little ahead of the curve in some ways. But people, like music today is terrible. Like it was better in the 90s, the 80s, the 70s, 60s, whatever the fuck. It's always been mostly garbage. Like the amount of music that's being made that's shit is always higher, and then the good stuff lasts. Like we're not out here playing the fucking worst of the 70s on the radio, man. It's the same with, films, books.
Look,
like, garbage is everywhere.
the turnaround for disco is good, actually. It's been strong. There's a ton of complete garbage old disco music.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
They just produce like a lot of fucking garbage. But just nobody listens to that anymore. They listen to the good stuff.
Yeah, man. And that, like, some people listen to I guess if you deep in your heart,
Yeah, sure,
like the trash, then yeah, you're like, music today sucks.
Yeah, there's always
okay.
there's a deeper hole to dig. I don't know, if you like rock and roll, I would say you're not being greatly served by music today, probably, but
you are. I would say that it's certainly harder to find like true rock and roll, because it gets a little absorbed, right? They're either going a little. It's hard because I've looked now and again, not super hard, but they're either swaying heavier or they're swaying lighter than I would want, or whatever. But stuff's still good.
probably. I don't know. I have like no mechanisms by which I've extremely limited mechanisms by which to intake new music in my life. So, like, I look at like, what did I listen to last year? Oh, Ursa Yatsura openings, endings. That's the new music I added to my brain.
Yeah. Mine over the last year is definitely. I mean, I haven't done it yet because my thing with Ursa Yatsura was I didn't want to listen to the music until I watched through the anime. This is like kind of the carrot on the stick a little bit to keep me going. I'm kind of doing the same thing with my son Koku. Like, that music rocks. I really like a lot of the openings and stuff. One of the music things I did discover last year, not that it came out, it was nothing new, but I always look for music that's like Berserk, because it's such a fucking distinct sound, and it's so cool, and I really love it. And I was looking again, and someone's like, have you checked out the composer's like studio albums? Like, they're just kind of that. And they are. It's fucking great. Perfect. Just like that weird mix of like electronic and whatever. I don't know, man. It's cool.
Yeah. I get it. I listened to all the Pillows albums because I liked the music from Fooly Cooly.
Imagine liking the music from Fooly Cooly. That's funny. Look at this guy trying to be unique.
I'm not trying to be unique.
I know. So many people like that music, man. I'd actually tried so hard to find, because so many people have like that initial scene where what's her name rolls up on the moped. So many people have done AMVs for that shit with so many different types of music. Not a single one of them are like in the genre that I would like. I'm like, that's so like, to the point where I was kind of tempted to just do it myself. Like, can I just slide in my own shit here and like create my own hype if I do like a song that I think would go hard? I might still do it, but it's so weird that not a single person was like, yo, we should put power metal in this.
Yeah.
That was a very funny watch. It was 6
that was
episodes.
like where I'm going. Yeah, I know. And it's like, so like I couldn't prep you, but like my one question would be, okay, if you don't feel anything for the music, we don't need to do this. We could just skip it.
Yeah,
because I don't know how to talk about it if that's like not hype for you. Music is such a hard thing.
The thing, yeah. The funniest thing after was like when I read something and someone's like, if you are watching it and wondering about the plot, you're watching it wrong. I'm like, I thought the plot was pretty neat. That's what I was focusing on.
Yeah, no.
Oh, man.
Nope.
It was very funny. Not like the best podcast content, because I wasn't even like, this is fucking awful. This is like the worst thing I've ever seen.
Yeah. No,
I was
it's
just
the
like,
worst
yeah,
case where you're just like, it just didn't hit. It just didn't hit. You know?
You ever watch a thing just shoot right past your face? And just didn't really phase you?
Probably. Can I tell you what that was? No. It was tough because I don't remember it.
Oh, okay.
Didn't hit.
See, in this case, I will remember it because it was A, for the podcast, and B, it was something like that popular.
Sure. It's a thing I love.
Yeah.
Also.
That makes it extra funny.
Yeah. All right, what's next? What else?
Yeah, I'm trying to see what else we did. Princess Night was a thing.
Hell yeah.
That was
Tez
super
got
cool.
here.
I mean, that was then us, like, me. Well, we were both looking at like that museum page or whatever thing where it had like at least the covers of all of his works, and me being like, every other fucking manga cover that was on that page, I was like, this looks fucking cool. Like, I would pick this up and read it just based on the cover.
Yeah.
It's so funny. There's so much, dude. There's so fucking much.
He produced a metric shitload of series. The thing is, a lot of his stuff is like short, but they're just so many different things.
Oh, dude, it's crazy. The amount of different stuff that was just on that page is wild.
He's just out here like inventing every genre of manga, like commercially, that goes on to exist.
Dude, it's crazy. The biggest one is still Dororo.
Yeah, that was such a good find.
The fact that it's just actually fucking Berserk. It's just actually that. It's not even like that. It's not even really it's not like the genre. It's just fucking Berserk. Yeah. It's so funny. And it's like,
I think too. I got turned on that. I think I was reading an interview with Mirror and he was like listing off influences and like he was like, "Oh, there's a Tezuka thing in here. Well, I gotta read that."
And the funniest fucking thing is that at the time, I had also done my thing of like, I want to check out the stuff that influenced, Mirror for Berserk. And it wasn't listed on Wikipedia, so I just didn't know about it. They listed the fucking, like, they listed Rose of Versailles. They listed, whatever. I constantly forget. Kaze Keynote or whatever. The shoujo, like, boys boarding school thing where everybody's miserable. Like that stuff. And then just didn't mention it at all. That's so funny. I'm glad you fucking saw that, though, because that was great. And then Princess Night was also incredibly fucking cool.
Yeah. And Princess Night, so I learned about like years ago at this point. That was one that I was holding in my pocket. That was what it was like, oh, Tezuka also invented Utena or whatever. like this, like he also did that. Huh.
Wow.
Like it goes back further than Rose of Versailles.
Yeah. That shit's crazy, dude.
It's just gender bending adventure. It's just fucking here. In whatever year he originally wrote it, because finding out that information is actually a nightmare. Because of the way that manga gets redone and then repurposed and sold as like a different thing than it was when it originally was in a magazine the first time or whatever. And parsing that info is not easy.
Yeah.
Being American and not speaking Japanese. Or being alive at the time. I'm sure I feel like even if they knew Japanese, that shit would be hard to come up with. Because I just think of like American comics, it's that way too. Like if you're in it week to week, that shit's parsable, but even with all I know, trying to parse some of that shit after the fact, like if I was not when I'm not paying attention, it becomes impossible. It's so much harder if you weren't
Yeah.
like literally there to live it.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's such a fucking big world, right? And like especially early on, if you go back far enough, like stuff isn't super well preserved or kept track of or whatever, right?
Yeah, I mean, even fucking now, there's stuff that's not well preserved.
Yeah, that's true.
I've never been like less confident about being able to find something on the internet.
Oh, yeah. It's messy.
Like, even if you look at like a Wikipedia article and you try to follow any of the links on those pages, they're like all broken.
Like for the sources.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've run into that a chunk of times lately.
Like,
like-
the like cite your sources part of Wikipedia is like fucking a lie because the internet rot is so real.
There's I actually just had it come up where I was looking into the countries with the highest population. And on Wikipedia, in my head, I'm like, well, it's India currently. That was however many years ago they passed China, right?
Yeah.
And Wikipedia still had China at the top. And I'm like, that's weird. Like, what thing are they going by? The population source they were using for India was a fucking projection from 2011. And I'm like, bro, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I don't know what the latest Indian official count is, but like the United Nations has stuff that's current. Like every other source that's credible that I found is like, yeah, India has passed China. China said that India has passed China. But I'm like, and then there was like a different source and I clicked it and that was one that just like led nowhere or whatever. I'm like, huh. And that's like, you would imagine that's a popular page too, right?
I guess. I have no idea.
You would think. I don't know. Yeah, that shit's it's a little worrisome.
It's just annoying when you're trying to like
yeah, that too.
know facts about reality. I don't know.
Yeah, man.
When you're doing research for fun, you're like, why is this all fucking garbage? Why is some fucking wrong fact just repeated everywhere?
Yeah.
And you can't even track down the original source of that, where that wrong fact came from. It's now the lore. We don't have history, we have lore.
Fucking yeah.
But mostly it's just I'm trying to read fucking manga and it's not translated and I'm losing my goddamn mind.
Yeah, man. That's a thing. You know what? I'm looking at something on the YouTube page and I cannot for the life of me remember what exactly it was about. It's a I guess maybe it was a Doctor Doom comic. The Peril and the Power and the Triumph and Torment.
Peril and the Power was that's the one that you didn't read on a previous thing where Doctor Doom steals the Silver Surfer's power.
Right,
And
okay.
Triumph and Torment is Doctor Doom and Doctor Strange going to hell to save Doctor Doom's mom's soul.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, those are rad. Okay. I'm glad I remember the comics, if not the names of them. I feel a little better.
Yeah. That's just rad.
Oh, dude, they were so fucking good. We did Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
The primer, which
Yeah,
I
we
think
watched
that was my big surprise, I think, of the year. I didn't expect to like that original comic so much, nor did I expect it to be so different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The original comic is very, very different, but it's like hype moments just fucking hit. They're like fucking.
Oh yeah,
it's just
dude.
cool for a thing that's a fucking joke. It's very funny. They hit those when they just want like Shredder to be scary. It's like, yeah, look, he's just fucking back. That's fucking.
Yeah, man. Did X-Men Primer?
Yes.
That one, That one is funny because like I don't remember it as much, but the fuck You're Too Poor to Play With Me is an all timer.
Yeah. That's a weird episode because we've done Hoxpox, we've like done higher level X-Men. This is like completely we're just doing things completely out of order. But
It's a base for the future.
But I realize you're not grounded in that stuff the way I am. The way that I think some of the other choices that get made after stuff are more interesting if you know the baseline stuff. But also, I didn't really even do that with that episode. I mostly just wanted you to watch those 2 episodes of Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. So the fact that you remember You're Too Poor to Play With Me is kind of perfect. That's like really all I wanted for that episode. Is to watch that fucking garbage.
Yeah. No, that shit was too good.
Which is like, my friend had those episodes on like single VHS tapes, so I've just seen those episodes a million times. They're just like,
yeah.
those are memes that live in my brain. And I think every other episode of that cartoon is extremely boring and not interesting. But those 2 in particular are just live in my brain forever.
The thing that is in my brain, that single line and shot.
Yeah.
And a thing I'd seen before the primer, which is just, in particular, the theme to Pride of the X-Men. Because holy shit. It's up there with the Sonic Underground theme is like, there's just a couple of cartoon theme songs. I mean, I guess also Mighty Morphin Power Rangers just straight up like, what if these were just templates for the entire genre of power metal? Like, what if this is all you needed? You could reverse engineer this and make like any power metal song of like the last 40 years. It's crazy.
You fucking coming to me like, is this real? That the Power Rangers theme song is still one of the fucking funniest moments.
Just straight up didn't know it all.
Is this fucking real?
Is this real? Is this
like, yeah, this is this is my childhood. This is what I grew up with. This is
not
obviously.
Real.
This is just obvious. This is what this is. You just lived with this. This is what 10-year-olds thought was extremely lame and be embarrassed to talk about in public with each other, but secretly enjoyed.
I want to see I want to see the message because I can't remember when that was.
I think that was 2023.
Yeah, it seems like it. I don't know, even earlier. Damn.
Oh, it has to be earlier because I just see a 2022 message of me just reminiscing about that moment.
Yeah.
God. Yeah.
That's okay. I must have done that in a call because I found the theme song when I linked it.
Mm-hmm.
So we must have been on and I like heard it or something. Yeah. We must have been in a call because I just see the link to it and I must have linked and been like, is this real though?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was such a good moment. Also, like, I mean, retroactively doing all of the Ultraman stuff, the Kamen Rider stuff, like, that's given me much more of an appreciation of Power Rangers, right? Because, like, it's literally just that.
Yes, it's that with more, like, 90s
Well, yeah.
Sitcom segments stapled to it.
Yeah.
where in a version of it where none of the main characters have any character flaws. Like, they're not flawed characters that have anything to overcome, really.
Yeah.
Which is a choice that was made.
Yeah. You know, I mean, look, they could have done anything after that theme song.
Fair. Teens that are definitely not teens hanging out at a juice bar.
I wonder if I would have. Because when was the original? When was Mighty Morphin Power Rangers on? That was like early, wasn't it?
Mid 90s.
Mid 90s.
Yes.
1993.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. First 93, final 95. Yeah, I was in that. I was on the second or third wave of that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever the next one would have been. Or whatever was on in like 2000, 2001.
That was probably like 15 waves later.
Yeah, fair. Because I remember... I remember the ninja ones or samurai? I guess
Ninja
samurai.
Storm is 2003.
Okay. Let's see what I remember. Lightspeed Rescue. I don't remember the thing, but that's where my toy is from. That's where my Megazord was from.
Sure.
I remember Ninja Storm. I remember like Dino Thunder and SPD and that stuff.
Yeah.
Like I didn't watch them, but I remember commercials.
So Time Force is the last where it's still Saban making it, and then it gets bought by Disney, and then Wild Force through RPM is made by under Disney, and they like filmed it all in New Zealand to keep it cheap.
Gotcha.
And the last Disney season is like the one I actually want to do, because it's the one where like they got to write a good story.
Nice.
They wrote like
down for that at some point.
a post-apocalyptic story. They got to do all like the serious stuff they'd wanted to do for years, and it's adapting the goofiest fucking Sentai show where it's like cars with googly eyes. And it's fucking perfect.
Man, I'm looking. You know what the real cool people watched at the time?
What?
They ignored Power Rangers because that's kiddie shit, right? That's for babies. The real ones watched Ultraman Tiga. Or the shitty dub put out by 4Kids.
Yeah. Yeah, and during original Power Rangers, the cool one to watch is Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad.
That's such a mouthful, man.
Yes. Look,
long,
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles happened, and thus you had to have titles that are too long.
Hell yeah.
That one's great because, honestly, I just think the sitcom parts are funnier. And also, they're only they had so few episodes of the original show, they had to adapt them all multiple times.
Hell
to
yeah.
reuse the fights over and over again because they just didn't have enough footage.
That's so good.
It's very funny.
Man. I feel like I kind of hate that I feel like I'm spiraling down into a drain which ends with me flooded with Ultraman content.
Hell yeah.
I keep thinking about it and it's so fucking much that I'm like, I can't.
I know.
But I could.
It's the thing. My thing with Toku is like, oh, there's so much good Japanese Toku that I just should have watched at a younger age. So I just don't have the I haven't watched like the fountain of material that exists. And I know I'm not going to enjoy it as much as I would have if I'd done it when I was a kid.
Yeah.
For like the mountain of material it is. But I would love to have seen it. I would love to just be able to think about the best bits and like turn it in my head.
Mm-hmm.
But the process of sitting there and watching all that TV is just a lot.
Yeah. I mean, the problem is it's a thing that is great
When
to
there's
poke
other
at.
and there's other stuff to do, right? Like,
oh, totally. You have so much manga to read.
Yeah. True.
Man, you know what? I did look. I was looking at the YouTube page a little bit more. You know what manga we read in 2024 that I forgot was 2024. I don't think we had that much of a backlog that it was 2023. But My Son of Koku.
You read it in 2024. Because I read it at the very end of 2023. I like binged that shit, and then I was waiting for you to finish it.
Okay.
Basically.
That makes sense. Because then I mean, once I started it, I fucking gobbled that shit up.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. I mean, the episode came out in 2024, so.
Yeah.
Count it.
No. It 100% counts. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Because then I basically started reading Ranma after we did that episode, I think. Because I wanted Mason and Koku to still be in my head, I think, theoretically, is what was my thinking. And then you just zoomed past me, and I'm like, God damn it. I should have been reading Ranma this whole time. Whatever.
Oh, dude, I fucking decimated that shit, though. There's no, like, who could have fucking foreseen?
No one could have predicted.
My Son of Koku, though, I don't know, man.
All-time banger.
If all of that feels important, but like, I think because I'm also pretty close to the end of the anime.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Urusei Yatsura I have under my belt, and that's really fucking good. But the anime is not. The highs are so high. They're so fucking high. Yeah. But it's not like there's so much of it. And it's like just not quite the same. I don't know. And I think Ranma and Inuyasha are like same shit. But My Son of Koku, the anime is fucking incredible. The manga is god tier. Like, it's just so good. Like, instantaneously, like, one of the most important things I've ever taken in. Because it's just, like, it hits on every level for me. And you were right. You were fucking right. Like, I still remember before, you were like, I forget exactly how you phrased it. You're like, you're either going to hate My Son of Koku, or you're going to have to admit that misunderstandings are fun.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, yeah, okay. And then I finished it. I'm like, fuck.
It's all misunderstandings.
It's all misunderstandings all the way down.
But it's so good. It's all so entertaining and fun. And you feel it. You feel it.
I think I probably talked about it a little in that episode, I hope. But I think part of it is because it's so based on that. And also that both characters have it.
Mm-hmm.
Usually when I'm taking that shit in, especially if it's in like a rom-com or something, one character has one misunderstanding and the whole fucking thing unwinds, and that's like the point of conflict.
Mm-hmm.
And in this, there's like both of these fucking characters are making assumptions and just so being insecure people. It's so funny. And then they feel fucking bad about it later. Like, it's just good, man. Also,
it's just like there's times she just gets told what the actual deal is. She's like, "Oh, well, why didn't you just tell me?"
Oh like, my god, yeah, dude.
Lady,
are you fucking kidding me? Kyoko, oh my god. One of the funniest things is online how people just like, I love those side characters. I think the concept of her being like, all these fucking weirdos who live in these apartments, like, I need to write this shit. These guys are weird. And it's so good. And it's like a perfect little thing. And then online, people are like, the side characters are the worst. They're so mean to Godai. And I'm like, yeah, they are. It's fucking funny. He's just trying to study. I'm like, yeah, they should have a party. That's like party hours right there.
Yeah, man.
I don't know, man. People are here like they want a gagless ROM. They want the ROM without the com. And it's so funny that that's just not at all what it is.
I want the character that can fucking take all that shit and overcome. The struggler. Give me the struggler.
Yeah, dude. Because he keeps just going through it.
That's what it's about. No hugging Santa.
And then there's like the bits where, like, I don't know, man. Just the way that she does Godai, like, he's not a shitbag like Ataru, obviously, but there's still like one bit where they're like, he like holds himself up in a closet and he refuses to come out, and then someone's like, "Oh, manager, that's so indecent. Like, you should put your clothes back on." And he like fucking peeks out. They're like, "You see what type of man he is?"
Every time he starts having like a perverted thought, and he like walks into a pole, and it says divine punishment on it.
Just gets absolutely blasted. The funniest fucking part is that his perverted thoughts are like, "I'm gonna ask her on a date." He's just so fucking horny in like the most innocent way.
I might kiss a girl once.
Dude, yeah. I'll say the other thing it kind of has as like a dual package anime manga that Urusei Yatsura didn't is that the filler is A, not noticeable, and B, in some cases is actually just also fucking great.
Sure.
Because I think all of it involves the manager and Godai, Kyoko and Godai, and the silly stuff fits in because it's a bit silly to begin with, and there's like 1-2-part Christmas episode that's just like good times, like emotions and stuff. I'm like, this is just solid.
Hell yeah.
They understood what the manga was about and when it was at its best. And then the people in the online they can't discern. They're like, this filler is garbage, and it's like, this is not filler. This is
in the manga.
This is just a manga chapter that is admittedly a little later than it should be in the story, but like this is what it is.
This is the thing.
And I got funny. On one thing. There was an episode I was like, I don't know how I feel about this as like a filler episode. Nope, that was just in the manga. I'd forgotten it.
Hell yeah.
I completely it just blurred together with other stuff.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Yeah. The thing I will say is I tried to watch the movie and it just didn't grab me.
I mean, when I was looking up like what people recommend for how to do the movie and the OVA, the consensus is just like watch the entire show and then do those after, because they're kind of a different thing, different vibe. And like at best, they'll just feel like a longer episode in the middle of things, and at worst, they'll kind of throw off your pacing for the show.
Well, so the thing that fucked it up was I saw that there was like a trailer that like marketed when these movies came out is like the Maison Ikoku movie and Urusei Yatsura the final chapter as like a double feature. And that, man, did not set up the Maison Ikoku movie for success for me to watch it. Those are not equivalent.
No.
It's not. That movie is not the end of Maison Ikoku.
Yeah. No, it's just like a thing.
The thing that could stand up to that weight, but
I didn't remember that about being like a double feature type thing. That's very funny.
Yeah,
that's so fucking brutal. Yo, what if we put this thing up against Peak? That'll go well, right? It's like man. Oh, it's like it's like me coming hot off of reading the Dragon Ball manga and then looking at the first 3 episodes of Daima, and I was like, Just the timing of that being like, oh.
Yeah. You gotta be really into Goku eating a hamburger.
Yeah.
Just like really into it. Yeah, and Maison Ikoku was one I was like, because I Urusei Yatsura was like, all right, I'm getting this entire manga But that's probably it. I probably won't do all of them. And then like finishing Masonic Koku, I was like, I need to own these books. This is important to me. I have to have these.
Yeah, dude. Like, honest to God, if I just had, if like key thing, like if I had to prioritize filling a bookshelf with manga,
Man.
like it's like Rumiko Takahashi works in Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
Like those are the I need them.
Mm-hmm.
And that was, I mean, yeah. I guess Dragon Ball was also like the manga was this past year. That was a crazy one. 'Cause like
Oh right. Yeah.
Urusei Yatsura, I like every manga, I think like My Son of Koku a little less so. But it's like I said with those first 16 volumes of Dragon Ball where it's Kid Goku, it's like the difference between that and anything else is I have no notes on that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it's actually a perfect fucking thing. Now, if Ranma Half didn't have Hapase, we could talk. There would be more of a discussion there. But unfortunately, there's a big old stain on the whole thing.
Yeah. Sometimes one character really is that bad.
Such a bad fucking. He makes Master Roshi look so fine.
It's true. And Master Roshi is out here to watch fucking underage girls urinate.
Yeah, that's, you know.
From the no notes Kid Goku part of Dragon Ball. There's the part where Master Roshi shrinks down to watch fucking Bulma pee.
Yeah. Don't make me have to say there's one note. Come on, man. You don't have to do that to me. Don't put me on the spot. Doesn't he get got? Like, doesn't she take a shit or something and he gets, it's like, or it doesn't work out for him or he gets flooded?
I mean, if it doesn't work out for him, but let's look, that's what he's after.
Yeah. I think it's because, like, in manga form, you could just breeze past that shit, you know?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Hapase, he's just fucking still there and doing stuff with, like, zero redeeming qualities. Like, Master Roshi has the benefit of having, like, I mean, I guess in the manga a little more so. In the one I remember more is in the anime, maybe because I watched it first. But like his speech to Tien, right? He has like a lot of good lines, a lot of good things. He has things that balance out his being a shitbag. Hapsai doesn't really have that.
No, he's never done anything good.
Yeah,
I actually kind of respect it. Like he's just fucking evil and just awful.
Awful, yeah.
It's honestly, it's like, yeah, oh, that checks out. I don't like Master Roshi. I'm like supposed to kind of respect him sometimes, but then he's just a fucking maniac.
Yeah.
Or I'm supposed to respect him after he's been a maniac. Really.
God, the fucking.
But it, you know, when it fucking hits, Dragon Ball's good enough that it still works.
When he gets off the plane and he sees Bulma and he's in the suit. In the anime, that frame of him like losing his mind is just like they went so fucking hard on it, and it's like ridiculous and kind of it's not that bad, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, but it's just like he's a fucking menace. Like it's such a garbage bag shot. It's so bad, but it's funny as hell.
He is literally a menace.
Just a menace, yeah.
Can't take that guy anywhere.
Dude, you can't take launch anywhere. I just feel like hijacking a plane. That fucking rewrite.
Hell yeah. I'm so sad that Toriyama forgot about her.
Dude, like that's it's so wild.
Sometimes it just
I
happens.
guess.
You're just reading a comic and you're like, wait, wasn't there this other character who's in it sometimes? You're just gone.
Nah, I'd remember them if they were important.
It's, thinking about questionable content currently.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah.
He took his like week off or whatever and doing reruns. And he's like, oh right, this character. They're not coming back.
Yeah.
I just ran out of bits.
I kind of appreciated some of his shit on it though. Where he's like, I realized I kind of don't have to worry about that shit because, like, fuck you guys.
Yeah, exactly. Hell yeah. Honestly, the funniest thing is that he was, like, finally ready to get rid of Martin and then, like, put him in a new situation and was like, oh no. Just keep writing about this guy. That's new situations.
That's very funny. And I think he did have a thing about that too in those of like almost like this is one of the oldest tricks in the fucking book is like put them in a new place.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Or introduce what I forget what the general like writing term is, but like things must happen to the character to like make it interesting.
Yeah.
Everybody was too happy. What if there was you got to give him the Spider-Man treatment.
Content.
Yeah, content.
Sedentary.
No, give him the Spider-Man treatment. Kill a loved one and then like make him pour his shit. No.
Killing the loved one. I'm so sick of that one as the mix up. I'm so burned out.
Here's the fucking problem. You can't do it in questionable content because you'd have to be putting a woman in a refrigerator. It's Martin and then everybody else.
Yeah.
And like if you kill off a dude, I mean, does anybody really care?
That's like X-Men 3 where they kill the third movie, the original third movie, where they kill Cyclops. And it's like, fucking why? Why would you kill Cyclops? Nobody cares. Particularly this version of Cyclops. He's just an asshole. Like, nobody likes him. Nobody felt anything emotionally. But, like, you're adapting X-Men. What are you doing if you don't have Cyclops? You signed up to do this.
That's so funny. Oh. God.
That's how I felt. Yeah. Well, I did recently find out that the novelization of that movie was fucking written by Chris Claremont.
I don't know who that is.
The classic X-Men fucking comic book writer who wrote like all the X-Men comics that people cared about.
That's kind of wild.
It's very funny that they gave him that job to write the book about that movie.
Are you going to read it?
No, I don't I just don't have the stomach for reading garbage tier novels. I wish I did. There's so many comic book adaptations I would read.
Hank,
if I had the stomach for it.
Don't make me fucking say it. Don't make me utter fucking Daniel X.
That one's special. That one's so awful.
Oh, okay.
That one's next level awful.
It is really bad.
I
need to read it again.
Also, that book is just not that long.
Yeah,
a lot of the comic book adaptations are like those, they're just like very small type.
Oh yeah,
on those like airport novel style books or whatever.
Hell yeah,
softbacks that are like, I don't know,
too chonky for their own good.
It's like, why is this chonky? It's not any good. Why are you giving me quantity over quality?
Yeah.
But like, there's a novelization of fucking the first Venom miniseries, Lethal Protector, which isn't a good story as a comic book. So why you would turn it into a novel in 2018 baffles me, except that really the novel exists so they could do the audiobook version. That's really what the book, as far as I can tell, the book version is incidental to the whole process, where they're like getting like casts for audiobooks, really, for comic books.
Yeah.
Apparently that one like just has all the dialogue is unchanged from the original comic.
That's kind of wild. That's impressive, honestly.
I was looking at reviews on Goodreads or whatever, and there were people like, I grew up with reading garbage Venom novels as a kid, and this one is shit even by those standards.
Oh my god. That's insane.
Like, I cut my teeth on terrible Venom novels from the 90s. And this one, so much worse.
That's very funny. That's such a good like space of review.
Yeah. Honestly, I was shocked at how many reviews those books have. Like, people are really out here. Like, a lot of them were people talking about the audiobook.
Audiobooks are so huge, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just all, I'm fascinated by it, but it's just all a space that, like, does not match my media appetite.
Audiobook or novelization of a comic?
Both. Like,
Yeah.
shitty novels, I don't have time for, and I'm not an audiobook person. I like listening to podcasts that are a conversation. I don't like to listen to fiction, like audio book fiction, like at any level. It just doesn't, it's not interesting to me in the same way. I like people talking about a thing for whatever reason. That's just what I like.
Yeah. I mean, that's, there's something for everyone is the thing.
Yeah.
It is kind of unfortunate. My brother is super into audiobooks, which is great. Like, I mean, like, that's a good thing. The unfortunate part is that, like, there's been a couple of times where I'm really into a book and I'm like, oh, you got to check this out. He's like, is there an audiobook? I'm like, I don't know, probably, I'll check. Some of the books are like they're not large publications, like they're kind of indie thing. And one of them didn't have an audiobook and the other one did, and it was so bad. Like it was just, I mean, it wasn't fucking terrible. Like, but I'm like, if he's into audiobooks and like he kind of has standards for them, I'm like, I can't fucking recommend this. As someone who read the book and loved it, I could stomach it as a way to take it in if I needed to. But like, that's fucking rough.
Yeah. And like, I've listened to audiobooks. Like, there's a world where that would be, but just not where I'm at in my life currently.
Yeah.
I listened to the audiobook for The Tragedy of the Whale Ship Essex we listened to it on a long family car ride.
Nice.
And that was a very memorable experience, listening to a story where people turned to cannibalism.
Hell yeah.
A good time.
The one audiobook that I really wanted to check out was they got I forget her last name. Ashley. Is it Eckstein? Eckstein? It's not Epstein. It's not like Jeffrey.
I don't know.
I think it's Eckstein. She's the voice actor for Ahsoka. In like everything. Like, she's super committed to that character.
Gotcha, yeah. I know who you're talking about now.
Yeah, and she did the audiobook for the Ahsoka novel that I really liked. I listened to it and I couldn't fucking get over the fact that she's reading the book. So it says like Ahsoka said, and I'm like, you gotta. Can we do this in the first person? This is like messing with my mind. Because she's saying all of the lines like Ahsoka, but then it's just reading the book. I'm like, I can't do it. This is this is great. I love it, but I can't, man.
That's very funny.
Oh, great book though.
Sure.
And I'm glad she did it. It's very fun that she did it.
I don't listen to audiobooks. I listen to podcasts about people talking about books that I don't read.
Hell yeah. That's the way to do it.
That's why a Star Wars podcast just finished the Thrawn trilogy.
Nice.
I listened to. It's just a different world of Star Wars content than what we have today.
Hell yeah. I got the original Star Wars novelization for the first movie. That's
Hell yeah.
It's an interesting little thing. They really didn't know fuck all.
No, of course not.
Like anything. Like they're just fucking guessing.
Hell yeah. Well, yeah, that's one of the fun things about the fucking Thrawn trilogy is like his conception of what the Clone Wars were is totally different.
I forget what his version is.
Like that there were clones of people.
Okay.
Like Luke is like, and all the clones of people, the way you tell they're a clone is their name has an extra vowel in it. But they have the name of the person that they're cloned of, except there's extra vowel.
Yeah. That's it's a thing.
I don't think
It's a thing
Luke
that
has any lines though. I don't think he doesn't say anything. He just gets killed in those books.
Yeah, that sounds right.
But we got Mara Jade being so tsundere. Just the most tsundere.
Mara Jade, man.
She hates Luke Skywalker, but
Also,
she's obsessed with him. The fact that her setup is she would have killed Luke, but she was like pretending to be a dancer at Jabba's palace, and she couldn't get the job to be on the barge. She just wasn't on the barge, so she wasn't around to be able to kill him during that part. And it kills her. She's so bad about it.
hell yeah. I should read the fucking Thrawn trilogy, man. I read a couple of the extended universe things.
Yeah, I mean, I was also just thinking about Legends in terms of like, it's Legends canon is over. They're not making.
Oh no! Oh,
Legends canon is the section of Star Wars that's complete.
that's true.
You can just silo that off and say, I just want to learn Legends canon. There's an endpoint.
One might even say it's easier than current canon. More doable.
Yeah.
One might think.
You could skip the books that people say are dog shit until you're like really
fun.
Until you're really thirsty. Until you really have the hunger.
Hell yeah.
But you don't have to consider them as part of the project you're undertaking to keep your scale down. You could just read the Timothy Zahn novels or whatever.
Why are you like a little fucking goddamn Green Goblin mask? Like telling me about the idea that Star Wars Legends canon is finished. Motherfucker.
I was just thinking, it just is a thought.
You could have kept it to yourself. It is done. Those books probably exist in an accessible digital format, and I have a Kindle. Huh. There can't be that many. How many extended Star Wars novels are there? How many Star Wars Legends novels? Google tells me 68.
Reddit say 155 novels plus 6 short story collections is my first results. So
I wonder if they're just considering different things.
Oh, my second result is more than 9.
Holy shit. Oh, here we go. How many Legends novels are there? Okay, so I found like a comprehensive list.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like there's like around 100, with not counting the young adult novels.
Gotcha.
Fuck, that's like
I remember
doable.
my friend like at one point getting copies of the young adult novels because he remembered liking them when he was a kid and trying to read them as an adult and going, these are dog shit.
Yeah, that tracks. That's about what I would expect.
It's like he was like shocked at how badly written they were.
Yep. I mean the same sort of thing happened when I went back and tried to read the Warriors Cats novels, which are like kid young adult ish, kind of that maybe skewing towards the young side.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
They're not great. I think I just thought about them all the time, which elevated them.
Yeah.
Because like I couldn't just sit and read them at a chunk. I'd be like reading them when I had a few minutes, like during in between classes or whatever in like junior high.
Yeah.
So like that you're extending it, and then you're not, when they repeat the same information like 6 times in the same book, you don't notice it as much. Man, 100 novels. Okay. I could probably bite off 2 a week. We could probably knock this out in 2025. Hey, Hank.
What did I just say about my stomach for garbage novels, though?
Oh, but they're not all garbage. Surely.
Surely. I guess I could give
Come on,
the
man.
Thrawn book a fucking attempt. The Thrawn trilogy.
No.
Everything about it.
No. That's not the way to do it. They're
It's
too
fine.
well.
I gotta read the young adult novels.
No, they're too. Maybe they're too. You can't start with like the most highly rated thing. You're gonna ruin everything else for yourself. I'm not saying you have to read the garbage, but
that's the start. That's the thing that's where they start. Where else would I start?
I don't know, man.
That's where Mara Jade is introduced.
My experience with Star Wars novels is so fucking. It was all over the place because like I would just kind of poke at whatever cover looked good or whatever plot sounded cool. So like it was just such a random fucking hodgepodge.
Yeah. Well, because it was just the Thrawn trilogy. Like those books were coming out with like limiters on, where like they were like going to publish one a year or whatever. And then as soon as that trilogy finished, like the limiters popped off, and they were just printed books left and right.
Oh, dude, they went crazy.
They're flooding the zone.
I should go to my used bookstore. Pick up some garbage.
Hell yeah.
They're always sitting on like 40 copies of Star Wars stuff and like 200 Star Trek books or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a little bit fucking tempted though.
Yeah.
I was
just thinking about it because of the world where you have no interest in modern Star Wars anymore. That's
dude, it fucking
broken. I
decimated.
can't sell you on it at all. But what if
It's
there
not
was
like-
what if there's a fence around the content?
Yeah.
This,
I mean-
the thing that you shunned in the past, but now.
I didn't like shun extended Star Wars stuff.
Well, but you
just
looked at
thought-
you saw new canon, you were like, the world of I could do it all.
Yeah, the idea of like I was there at the start so I could keep up.
Yes, but really,
Yeah.
you were there at the end, so you could go back.
Yeah. Oh. There's not like there is stuff that I'm trying to think like what I could be easily enticed into for modern Star Wars stuff. I think the easier sell like I wouldn't be opposed to some books. And like if there's like a good comic thing, I don't think I would be opposed.
Mm-hmm.
Cuz like I've
Well,
got memories
the
of Dr.
Doctor-
Aphra.
Yeah, Dr. Offer was fantastic. If Karen
It's just
Gillan was
so
still
good.
doing that.
Yeah, I at some point they're gonna make something that gets me. I don't at this rate. I have low confidence that it will be a show of any kind.
Mm-hmm.
A movie is a little more palatable because it's a shorter thing, right? It's a
Yeah.
one-time investment.
Mm-hmm.
But like, yeah, I haven't looked into shit. Probably there are novels already that I would like. Man, I actually read one. Well, that's probably in the weird gray. That's in that like weird blurry line between legends and modern canon that is Clone Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think I read a book. I read a book about that where it was like there was like a love story in it. I was like, so and the main character was a villain from Clone Wars. I was like, okay, all right.
I'm saying, Mara Jade Luke.
Mara
That's
Jade's
some-
real good.
It's some enemies to lovers kind of shit.
Yeah, man. Then I would need to. I mean, I wouldn't need to. I'd maybe feel more compelled to do more of a fair look at some of the older games if I was going balls deep on novels.
Like what games?
In particular, the Jedi Knight games, Jedi Knight 2.
The ones about Kyle Katarn.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which I played the shit out of the second one when I was little. Never did the story like at all. Me and my brother would just play multiplayer with because it had pretty good bots, so it was very enjoyable. Also, we found out that if one of you had a lightsaber and you were far enough away, and you shot and then quickly switched to a lightsaber, you could just ping pong forever, and that was very enticing.
Hell yeah.
But just I would maybe give more of them a look. Because I know there's a bunch of other games, older ones. They're like Knights of the Old Republic. I never really did. I have it. I just never really dove into it.
Dark Forces just got the remaster last year, right?
Maybe. I don't know. I'm not up on any gaming news at all, man. If nobody's bringing it in front of my face, I just generally don't see it.
Mm-hmm. It had a Night Dive remaster last year.
Gotcha.
That was like, it was good, and also made people go, "Oh right, this was better in my head." In terms of story content.
Yeah.
Like it's a fine like Doom-like game. But like I did watch someone play it and go like, "Oh. Yeah, there is a lot of nostalgia that was just coloring how I thought about this." This was all bigger in my brain than it feels revisiting it. Cuz kind of what's cool about those older Star Wars games is that they're like scrappier than like the mega property Star Wars is now or whatever.
Sure. I mean,
Like,
let's
they're
not
they're
forget.
they're nerd games by nerds, Star Wars nerds for nerds. They're not like mass market, the biggest thing in the world objects, I guess.
Yeah, man. What the hell is that new? What's the Souls like? Jedi Order? Fallen Order? Fallen
Yeah,
Order.
I mean it's just an action game, but yeah.
Yeah, but I was pretty excited about it, and then I took that first swing with a lightsaber, and something didn't die, and I was like, "Ooh, this isn't for me."
There are 2 of those games now.
Yeah, that I knew. There's the what's the newest? There's like Outcast. It's like an open world game that's like garbage or whatever.
Well, that's a whole different. That's an Ubisoft game.
Right.
That's unrelated.
Yeah, I know it's unrelated to those, but like that's the latest one I saw shit about.
Yeah, there's Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order and Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Are those 2?
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. People seem to like that Ubisoft one. Okay, now that they removed the forced stealth sections.
Yeah, I guess I just saw like fucking bitching about it. I don't know that I saw.
Yeah, it's
like,
mostly people are like,
hating
yeah,
it.
it's fine. If you just want open world, like
If you want
turn
an
your
Ubisoft
brain off.
open world, yeah.
Yeah, and it's got like a fun sabacc mini game where you cheat. Like cheating is a big part of it.
Hell yeah.
But like if you just want to play like a Star Wars bounty hunter, like outlaw type character, like it's fine. It seems fine, but it doesn't seem like gotta play it or anything. It's not Game of the Year. It's kind of coming up on Game of the Year lists.
Yeah.
It's fine. And Star Wars is more in like a place of like it's so oversaturated that people aren't like, I don't know, there aren't like the super diehard Star Wars person is not as much a thing. I feel like where you're like
Yeah.
intaking everything feverishly because it's anything. Like people are like have like opinions about stuff or whatever. It's like I can evaluate it fairly.
I can't fucking believe you already defined what the next year of my life is gonna look like in entertainment.
Regrets. Could have get.
Yeah, you fucked up.
I need you to be reading X-Men comics. God damn it.
No, the best I can do is novelizations of those comics. Sorry, that's all you get.
I need you to learn about Hope, the comic book character that people fucking hated, that I just think about all the time and really like. 'Cause I think her comics were good.
Hear me out. What if we did? I mean, we'll probably be doing X-Men comics. I feel like we're gonna be doing a lot of comics for shorter form stuff because it's a very good, quick thing that also builds on itself as we go along.
Yeah. And like the X-Men comics I want to do is like an era of X-Men that is definitely completely over. That is pre-Hoxbox.
It'd be nice if we could also weave in like some Conan.
Sure. Yeah, Conan I just want to do at some point too, but yeah. And there are a bunch of like one-off. I don't know the DC Comics project I would want to do. There are some one-offs that I have like listed, ready to go when we want to start to that stuff. Like stuff that's like more interesting now that we're on the other side of DC.
Hell yeah.
We got to read Crisis on Infinite Earths. Worlds will perish. They're murdering everyone.
I'm down for more DC stuff. Fucking love DC. We I don't know what this one's gonna look like because like it's more prep, but like I still want to do the Adam West Batman and like maybe check out the
Adam West
Holy
Batman. I throw in the Toku box where it's like I would love to have watched this.
Well, I just want to see some stuff, right?
Yeah. That's like a sampler plus the movie, I think.
And
I just want to watch the Riddler episodes are the ones to me.
I'm fucking losing my mind. Christopher Reeves, that's his name. Holy shit, that took me so long. Seeing some of those Superman films. Because like, not that like I ever saw them, but I think when I was little, that was still. I don't even know where I would have heard it from, but like that's the name I had associated with Superman, and I think, you know what it was? I'll bet because on like VHSs and stuff, they had like commercials and shit.
Mm-hmm.
I think I saw like commercials for some of those or something.
Sure.
I would also thinking.
I like looked at episode. I couldn't figure out like the right episode to watch or episodes to watch, but like showing you the George Reeve Superman TV show, which is where like my version that lives in my head of Clark Kent comes from, because it's so distinct from the Christopher Reeve version.
Gotcha.
Because in that show, so in the Christopher Reeve movies, like Superman has all the charisma, and Clark Kent is like bumbling and like nerdy and awkward or whatever.
Yeah.
Like he puts on the glasses and like he's like, becomes like the weak guy. The George Reeves show, like Clark Kent is like could like it's of its era, so he's wearing a fedora or whatever, but he's like the cool reporter guy, and then Superman is the square with his hands on his hips and just like super corny, and that's what I actually love. I like that idea a lot more, where like Clark Kent is like kind of, it's a hard-nosed reporter who's like kind of cool, and then Superman's corny as hell.
Yeah, that's a good one.
But that's like in my head. I don't even know if I haven't watched that show since I was a child, so I don't know how much that conveys even in that show. The Batman freaking 1968 show with Adam West is only 120 episodes. That's like 2/3. That's not even 2/3 of Urusei Yatsura, man. Come on. George Reeves, Superman. Unrelated.
Show.
Weirdly. Just a coincidence.
Adventures of Superman?
Black and white TV show. So probably.
Yep, 38.
Yeah.
Brother, there's only 104 episodes. Are you kidding me?
That's like 3 Ultramans.
This is like fucking. That's like a couple of Namek arcs. That's not even that bad. Don't tempt me, Hank. This shit's in English and everything.
It's true. You could just put it on the background, not pay attention to it, really.
I could be reading manga while I watch this.
No, the real shit would be if we listened to the radio dramas where Superman fights the Ku Klux Klan.
Hell yeah.
The real shit.
I'd be down to listen to that. That'd be kind of fun. Cause like also fuck the KKK, right?
Yeah, totally.
I'm always down for a different rendition of Superman beating their ass. I didn't know the Superman show was so old.
Yeah, man. Superman is an old property.
Sorry, I said 1938. I was looking at I didn't even fucking think in my head that like, no, that's too old. That's not how that works.
Yeah.
51 is when it began filming, but
38
the concepts were created in 38 for the
38
characters.
is when the comics are from.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, 50s. Because it's just funny to me, like, that this was, like, in the 50s, this is what Superman was. But then the Christopher Reeve movies happened and just, like, erased that from memory. In, like, public consciousness. Like, the idea of like, Christopher Reeve Superman became, like, the theoretical default one in people's heads, I guess.
Bro, what the hell is this? The sudden death of the show's star, George Reeves, in June 1959 was not the end of the series either in the producer's eyes. Fuck.
Great.
That's awful. When Jack Larson returned from Europe after the death of Reeves, producers suggested the series should continue as Superman's pal, Jimmy Olsen.
Oh, that's
with more
so
focus
funny.
on Larson, with more focus on Larson's character playing opposite a Superman who would be a composite of stock shots of George Reeves and a stunt double to be filmed from behind.
No, that's a nightmare.
Larson rejected the idea.
Thank fucking God.
Another spin-off idea was a pilot Whitney Ellsworth produced in 1961, The Adventures of Superboy. Johnny Rockwell starred as a young Clark Kent in Smallville. As Superboy, he wore a suit similar in design to George Reeves. 13 scripts were written and only the pilot was filmed. So, they fucking wanted to, but they fucking couldn't. Thank God.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Imagine if they would ever make another Superman TV show again. The horror. Who would do that? Speaking of which, My Adventures with Superman Season 2 was a thing we did this year on the podcast.
Hell yeah. The full circle. So I'm saying, like, I don't think people understand that, like, the podcast is really just kind of how we talk.
True.
It's just like a conversation that we have.
Yeah. So it's our,
which is great, you know?
It's our fucking book club.
Hell yeah.
Gives us shit. It motivates us to check shit out, and then we get to talk about it. That's what it's for.
Yeah,
that
man.
Shit's great.
Yeah. It's a good time. I like doing the podcast.
It's delightful. I love having this as a thing to think about and do.
Yeah, man. And it's very funny that, like, such a large, I don't to be clear, I don't care. Like, it's not a complaint even in the slightest. It's just so funny that so much of it is like, Ben discovers that one of the most popular things in the fucking world is good. Like, that's so much of the stuff we've done. Like, what do you mean it was good this whole fucking time? You mean people like it for a reason?
Yeah.
They weren't just talking out their ass about Evangelion or Dragon Ball or fucking Naruto or Sailor Moon or whatever, like, or DCA. That's this whole time. Fighting games are good. Like, it's just fucking insane.
It's
so
it's
much.
very funny. But look, there's plenty of popular things that aren't good. So, you know,
That's true.
in your defense.
And then there's the inverse, like the fucking dark ages of Ultra Q, just for the ray of sunshine that is Shin Ultraman to fucking illuminate retroactively the entire thing in, like, holy light. Because it's the most stupid, undeserved pull of all time.
Look, the way you should look at mostly is that generally I'm screening stuff I'm bringing to the podcast. Ultra Q, that did not happen. I did not screen that. That was I just really want to have watched this, and I'm making a call.
Yeah, man. I mean, fucking no regrets, you know?
Yeah, but also it left me in position where, like, I'm not going to do that often.
But, like, there's
that one worked out, but that doesn't mean that was a good idea. Is how I would put it.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes the results do not dictate whether or not something was the correct move.
Look, there's something to be said
In the vacuum.
in this, because we've been doing this for a long time. Like, sometimes I have to remind, like my mom and dad laugh a little that I do a podcast or whatever.
Yeah.
I never fucking give them the information to find this podcast.
Sure.
But like, I'm like, they're like, do you get any viewers? I'm like, I don't give a fuck if we get viewers. Like, I'm not here for that. If we do,
Yeah.
that's fantastic. If people like listen to us, that's great. But like,
Yeah.
we do this for us. And it's been long. I've had a commitment to this podcast longer than I've had a commitment to my wife. Just saying. Sometimes I gotta tell Anya and remind her where the loyalties are. But in a thing that's that long, right? We're in our eighth year now. Yeah, 2017. We're in 2025.
Yeah.
We're going on our 8th year. There's something to be said about like going through something dog shit like ultra Q together.
True.
And just like
Shared experience.
coming back once a week and being like,
Yeah. No.
at the time it's a bit of a slog, but then in hindsight it's just like funny.
No, and it's honestly the thing that's great about doing a long-term project is to like you're intaking. It's like an excuse to get you to intake stuff or and think about it, because you have to then like vomit up whatever words you can. But also we have this shared fucking lexicon of the stuff we've done on the podcast that we can reference at a hat, and just having like that like catalog to like inform our conversation always on a new thing. It's like my favorite thing in the world, frankly. Like, I'd love it.
Hell yeah, dude. Grendel's mom is
Yes.
a star,
Yeah.
podcast star.
Exactly. Like finding those like connections between stuff that you wouldn't necessarily find otherwise, and like having
Yeah.
that shit's just so good.
Yeah.
It's the whole fun of human interaction to me, frankly. But just in having a podcast is just like a structured way of doing it, rather than just like talking with your friend
Yeah.
and not recording
and
it
it's
or whatever.
and I mean, you know, we've done like a tiny chunk of like yapping episodes.
Yeah.
But and I think like this is what even Anya sometimes like doesn't like when I was kind of waning on Sailor Moon. And like I was like telling her and like kind of notably like, I'm here, I'm watching or whatever. She's like, you don't have to do it. I'm like, no, I don't have to, but like that's kind of the beauty of it, is I know that if there's something I'm really not liking, like I could fucking be like, yeah, this just really isn't it. And like we can fucking cut it. You know?
I tapped out on live action Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah, man.
It's like, ding, ding, ding. I'm dead. No more.
That's fucking fine, you know? Like that shit happens. Or like sometimes stuff just isn't hitting like in a moment or whatever.
Yeah.
Or like Sailor Moon, like you tap out and then like if you want to come back, it's not like you have to fucking, oh no, you said we were tapping out, like you can't go back to it. Too bad.
Yeah.
Or
We
can't
started
swing it
our
forever.
Ghibli movie tier list and just fucking we just never went back to it.
That one's so funny because like there's not even like a reason. It's not like a hard reason for it.
No.
It just was like, what if we did other shit?
Yeah.
instead?
Other shit was more interesting to us.
And like, you know, it's
And that's
whatever.
like the key to the way our podcast is designed. It's like we're following the stuff we want to do. Like
yeah.
more than like I've listened to so many podcasts that like, you know, they build their audience by having a set topic, and then the hosts come to hate. You can sense that they're just really sick of their topic, or what, like the narrow focus of the thing. It just happens.
And dude, I can't fucking imagine doing that. Like, no, I think no matter what it is, it would happen, right? I can't even think of a thing
Like-
to start doing that on.
What if your thing is you do a Dragon Ball podcast? You love Dragon Ball. You're talking about Dragon Ball every week.
Yeah.
Daima happens. You're not loving it. but you have to come in every week and talk about Daima.
Yeah.
Are you going to like Daima more because you have to talk about it every week? No. You're going to hate it more because you're not into it at the moment.
I think just for me, it fucking, I guess like in a thing like Dragon Ball, right? That's such a huge property that you would probably also get a bit of this. But I don't know how that would look super long term. But like for us, one of the fun parts looking back is like we have fucking arcs.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, look at this. This is when we slammed Dragon Ball in like an uncomfortably short time. Because Ben was like a child who got into sugar for the first time. Like, or we had like where we were doing a bunch of movie nights, or we had like when we were doing the comics, or like the Salt Labyrinth and stuff, right?
Or Godzilla movies.
The Godzilla bracket.
It's like that was a defining moment for the podcast because it was like this was so much fun. Just doing this as a project.
And even that was still, I've said it a couple of times. Like I was a little fatigued on that.
Yeah.
Which is so funny because like it was so early, right? I've broken myself in now. Like if we did that again, I would be so much. I kind of want to do a redo at some point because I'd be so locked in, man. Like that stuff would be so easier compared to the first go around.
Mm-hmm.
But also that's like a shitload of watching to redo a thing.
Yeah.
It's a lot of Godzilla.
Mm-hmm.
But
there's other stuff to do. There's always other stuff to do.
There's always other stuff to do.
It's more about like what's going to be the most interesting to us right now. What do we got time for? What can we fit into our lives?
And I think am I correct that we've still not missed a week?
We have not missed a week in a long time.
Oh, hold on. I thought that we never missed a week.
No, there were times where we were doing. There was like some time. There was some where it was like really we didn't miss a month. We might have missed a month because I forgot to post something on time. Honestly,
Yeah.
But we were once a month for a while. We just didn't.
Oh man, I don't fucking remember that at all. That's wild. That's so funny. We've been doing this for such a long fucking time.
We've been
dude.
once a week for a very long time.
And even if we weren't like once a week, we were doing something that could get put out, even if it wasn't like a salt circle.
And there were stretches where we were doing 2 a week with shorter stuff. If I look at the all-time list, I can figure out. Yeah, so late or early 2020 was the last time we missed a month. And we missed a month like twice since we switched to Anchor, which is where my stats go back to.
Gotcha.
So I'm not sure before that, but I think this is still filled out for the full thing. I think we didn't miss a month before that either. So we've missed a month like twice, and at least one of those times was like immediately. It was just like right outside the month window, a new episode went up.
Gotcha.
I just screwed up.
Yeah. I mean, we've had a surprisingly low number of instances where like we flubbed a recording, or like in particular, I think of the Horror Express, where like for whatever fucking reason it just stopped recording like 15 minutes in.
Yeah.
We lost that. For how many episodes we've done, like that's like the only one I can think of where we actually lost a thing.
See, I'm gonna send you a picture. This is like the density graph for
hell yeah,
weekly releases.
Hell yeah.
So you can see from like in 2019 to 2020, it was much spottier, but since 2020, we've been really solid.
I think at some point we just had such a big. We've gotten to a point where I feel like we go and we have like giant backlogs, and then we're able to like kind of chill for a couple of months.
I think that's
important.
the big difference is we started recording in advance. Yeah.
Recording in advance and then like
Having a
just
backlog so that when life gets in the, like when we take time off, we could take time off. And just not do the podcast for a while. But it still comes out regularly. I think that was like the smartest change.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I mean, like it feels good to me. It is funny for for the end of 2024. Like we were so fucking stacked.
Mm-hmm.
We had a giant backlog.
Yeah.
Like the only downside is that at certain points it gets so big, and you know, if someone is like, "Oh, when you said this in the podcast," I'm like, "I have no fucking idea what you're talking."
That was half a year ago. I'm a different man.
Completely changed. Oh, this? You mean before I read every work by Rumiko Takahashi? Don't trust what I said back then.
Yeah.
But the episode came out last week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say I expect at some point this year we'll miss a week. I feel like
Nah.
We'll see what happens, but
that wouldn't happen.
it could be.
Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah. Depends on how much of a backlog we get before you go back to Armenia.
I mean,
Before you have your child
the
with
thing
you.
is that some of these are like there's such like there's our two big projects that we kind of need to do while I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's so much time still.
Sure.
Not so much, I guess. But it'll be fine. And in the like the thing is, well, prepping for those projects, like we can do other shit is the thing.
Yeah. We'll see. See how it goes.
Yeah.
Who knows? When has Ben ever bitten off more than he could chew?
Never. I'm not gonna. I'm gonna read every Star Wars Legends novel in the next year.
You got nothing else going on in the next year, right?
I'll just replace my toilet time with. No, that's not true. I have so many manga. There's so much shit to read.
You'd rather be reading manga than reading Star Wars novels, probably.
Yeah, like 9 times out of 10. Probably 10. Probably closer to 10 times out of 10 at this point, honestly.
Yeah. Is that it? Is there any other things from the podcast from this past year you want to hit before we end this recording?
I don't think so, man. I think we hit everything. It was another great fucking year. I'm happy to be here. Now that you've said like the thing about like people doing one thing and like growing to hate it and then they have to keep doing it, like I feel so light and fluffy just being like, man, I just enjoy doing this thing that we do for fun and don't make ourselves miserable for.
Yeah, man. I listen to a lot of podcasts, let me tell you, and sometimes I'm like, why are you doing this?
Yeah.
Oh, because it's kind of like your job.
Yeah, no, I get why people get into that, but
yeah,
it's a price.
And sometimes people have found the way to just, still love it. Still just, it's joy every time.
Oh, yeah, that's cool. It's good shit.
That's what I aim for. That's why that's why I point the podcast in the ways I point it, or try to.
It sounds like it's time for me to introduce a little trash to the podcast so everything else glows a little bit more.
Sure.
I don't know what the fuck I'd introduce. I don't really have anything.
Well, it's all because of my experience doing that anime podcast with Ty where we burned out after like 2 episodes or whatever. And I wanted to die.
That's so funny. I remember you guys talking about that, and then like it just fizzled immediately.
Because it was only going to be like a 4-time-a-year podcast, realistically, and we couldn't do it.
Yeah. Well, that's such.
Well,
an insane...
there's other stuff like Ty disappearing from the internet stuff, but tied in. But also like I was like, can we change this format anyway? And then he just never got back to me. Basically.
Yeah.
But that format was dog shit. But that's what he wanted to do. It was a format he came up with, so.
Yeah. Man, that's so funny. I don't think he's like anime pilled at all these days.
Sure. I can understand why. He was watching a lot of garbage. He was out here trying to watch like everything, like first episodes of everything.
He was just like super lost in the sauce.
Yeah.
Now he's I mean, it was very funny because actually not too long ago, he's married now. Him and his wife came down to visit.
Mm-hmm.
And they were I was asking about all of his anime figures.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, they were laughing so hard because I guess at first his wife was like, "You're not gonna like display those in the house, right?" He's like, "Oh God, no! Oh, that's not me anymore." Yeah, he grew up,
baby boy. He's all grown up, out in the world.
It's just so funny.
Anyway, that's a podcast.
Yeah.
Peace.
Peace.